Hello, and welcome to Tally the Votes Australia Survivor. We are here to talk about week 3 of Australia Survivor Redemption. I am here with my two co hosts, David and Christy. Good evening, guys.
Hello. I can't believe that now we're already through episode 9.
Yeah, week 3. It felt weird writing it.
I'm just saying I can't go out like this. I can't go out like this.
And we won't let you, David. We won't.
We wouldn't.
So let's jump into the entire...
We might not tell you till right before tribal council, but
or during tribal council.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave, you're off the show.
There we go. You're there. Okay. Well, let's jump into this. Let's get into the whole meat pie of it, if you will, and start at the reward challenge, where they not only win reward, but they get to drop their buffs. So we're already mixing and mashing, which is like, that was a big surprise for me. Like, we're already to this point. Okay. All right. Some of the alliances stay together.
But what an interesting thing to let them do a reward. And then those people win and then mix them around so that like the reward is then intermixed as well.
Yeah, not everybody gets to go home to a hot meal, right? Like, some people eat, some people don't. But we've got a couple of alliances that have stuck together. Ruby Soho is still together, but then there's other folks like Richard who are nearly alone on the new Baron tribe. Speaking of Baron, they are the winners of the meat pie reward. And when they get back to camp, as you said, not everybody gets to eat. And look at that, sweet Jackson is sharing his pie with Ben. Not just like a bite, like he literally like splits it in half.
Yeah, generous dude. Who was it that was taking shots of ketchup right to the mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
any
Ben.
calorie you can get, right?
I suppose
Ben the guy with the curly hair who's like the super chubby.
Yes,
he was the
gets
guy.
no airtime at all.
With the cactus hammock,
I'm not queasy. I could do most food challenges. Do not like ketchup, famously. So that was really gross.
Really?
I was like,
Okay.
ketchup has to be mixed with mustard. That's the rule of the Christyverse.
Right.
So yeah, but that was really, that would be a lot of sugar, I suppose, right?
Yeah, lots of sugar. Get the salt in there. Get the calories, whatever.
A stalker from Jersey sends us a hello.
Oh, that guy. Hey, that guy. So, okay. So we got Richard feeling kind of lonely on his side. Then we've got Jackson and Ben sharing meat pies. Now, at the new Bounty Tribe, connections are being made. And Richard and Mark learned that they both speak Thai, which is interesting.
Cool, right?
Yeah, like that's not something you run into every day.
I wonder if that's more common in Australia.
I feel like it's more common anywhere but here.
Well, but I mean, but Thailand is much closer in proximity to Australia. I mean, it would be like
a lot of for business, wouldn't they?
Right,
like they'd be on the same banking
one person,
time.
who's a CEO. The other one's like a diplomat.
They would do trade. Yeah. They would do a whole bunch in that region because it's cheaper, right? So it'd be like the Americas.
Yeah, right there. So, okay, we've got the two of them making their little discoveries, and then we've got Faith and Keely realizing that they both love Sally, and they want to go after Tez and Caleb to weaken Mark. Now, I have to ask this, and I'll probably ask it a few more times before it actually comes into fruition. But why are we spending so much time weakening Mark with getting rid of people who aren't really like high-notch players to begin with? Why don't we just go after Mark?
Because I think they want to work with Mark. They're just afraid he's gaining too much momentum. So they just kind of want to keep him at a steady pace, but like still out front of them to kind of shield them.
I think that's what they're doing. I think what they're doing is making them his only option. In other words, he has the option of aligning with these other people and turning on him. But if they keep taking his side alliances away, he's forced to stay with them. And then he becomes a shield.
And they're not
And
doing it until they need to, right? Because if they're not going to get rid of one
right.
of them if they still need them for numbers, right? So,
I
but as
And plus,
they have the
he's been
numbers,
kind of a challenge beast.
yeah, he's good at challenges, but I think that there's maybe more to it than just. And now maybe I'm giving more credit than what's due. I'm not sure. But it almost feels like to me is because we see this a lot, right? Where we don't want to lose this guy. He's good at challenges. But we need to get rid of his like number one, right? That's pretty normal. But they just keep going after like everyone else that he talks to. And let's face it, Mark is making deals with everybody.
he is.
Yep.
And
in the
that
end,
above everything else makes him one of the biggest threats. Yes, he's a
Yep.
return player, but then also he is making deals with everybody else. I think it's more than just we want to work with him. I think we want to be able to be the ones that take him out.
Oh, that's
We want him for our resume. Like I think they're keeping him safe until they can slit his throat because they need him for the resume.
I mean,
more
that's
than
also.
Shield.
I mean, that's like another point in that column of like keeping him around and waiting until biding your time. I don't think there's any cons for them at this point. Because it's like the perfect scenario where the two of them are completely aware of what he's doing. Meanwhile, Mark is the kind of player that is like weirdly charming and everyone seems to get along with him or want to know his opinion or share information with him. And so, he seems to, for the most part, be bringing that information back to them in a lot of circumstances.
It doesn't seem like he's holding a lot of secrets. I mean, there's like a few here and there, but
like what he's telling them things for their game. Like he's not, keeping them shielded. So I think, but they don't think they're going to keep him there forever. Down the road, I'd be willing
he's
to
going to have to go.
I think they might want him for the merge though. I think like,
sure.
Because they feel like if they're close enough to him at the merge, maybe he's a much bigger target than them.
Sure.
And that's when he becomes the shield.
And he's going to help make all those connections for them prior to leaving.
We'll see.
I mean, there's a lot of benefit. They're sitting in really good. Good spot.
And honestly, who are the people most likely to defect have to be the returnees because they know each other, right? So you could see Simon defecting to Mark or Brooke for sure.
Oh, they're already kind of doing that. So
right.
Now these wise women as they have decided to name themselves are going.
I wish they would have done. Best. I wish they would have done wiser women.
I like that.
The wiser women.
Been good. The wiser women. They're going to do their best to push Mark to be on board. He is hesitant. He's hesitant about going after Tez and Caleb, but he pretends at least to gladly agree to let the girls have this one. So he sets out to create mayhem between Caleb and Tez by telling the other is writing their name down. So, so
good
a
way
little
to chaos keep them apart,
over here. Right? Don't let them get together and start talking.
Yeah, they're not going to definitely
because that way they're not going to align and vote against you. Or
they're not going to make a voting
way.
block.
Right.
Exactly. And then at the immunity challenge, which I have named Bags, Bins, Rampant Targets, Jackson and Don are neck and neck again, but this time Jackson pulls the win for Baron. That was an impressive bunch
that's
of
pretty
throwing.
good.
And you gotta say Don did prove he could throw.
Yes, he
remember
did.
when he was all bragging about how he could throw and make it go this way and that way?
He's got an arm. I'm gonna say. Now I don't know like if he's really the professional carabiner on Clipper that he claims to be, but he does have a good
Sadly,
arm,
he's gone before he gets to prove that to us.
We don't even get to see that magic, unfortunately. But so we got to win for Baron. Now, Sally knows that Mark has got to be cut before merge, makes it her mission to get those numbers ready. So she starts in with Don. And Don's been working really hard to improve his social game. So he agrees with her. And then he immediately goes and tells Mark. Like, immediately. And then Mark says, okay, I need you to go out and get more info. Which is so smart because it keeps Mark's hands off of it. Then Don approaches Faith and Keeley and then very awkwardly talks to them about it. But they do tell him that Sally's going rogue and they never agreed to such a thought.
Oh, I love this scene was so great. It was so
Yeah,
great
like,
because
I
first of
don't know.
all,
We've never done that.
Don did the right thing. He didn't freak out. He just went, "Oh, okay," and said yes. So many people, have made that mistake before.
Always say
But
yes.
he didn't even hesitate, I don't think, to run back and tell Mark. Because at that moment, that
Yep.
was like a strategic point in his game where he had a decision to make.
Yep. He knew who he was
I
gonna
don't think that if he hadn't told Mark, I still don't think he was long for the game. But
I don't think he was long for the game. I do believe he still would have been there after that tribal, but
yeah. But the
not for much longer.
girls going like, "Oh, this is the first we've heard of it."
What new information
Yeah.
you've brought us.
That was good. That was good.
So they've got Sally doing the work there, but then also Keeley is really, really itching to betray Mark. And I really love the edit we're getting where Mark is being told Keeley has to have control, and Keeley is saying Mark's not happy unless he has control.
Unless he's calling the shots. Now, these 3 episodes, we saw a lot. We saw a lot of Mark and Keeley, these 3 episodes. And do you feel like Keeley's kind of almost getting like a little too big for her britches? Like her head's getting a little too...
You mean just like Mark is?
They both are. But I mean, with Mark, it seems like it's already had started before.
Mark has consistently played that way when he's played before.
Yeah. Keeley has like ramped up and you're just like, girl, pump the brakes. Come on.
She's getting a little like, like her confessionals are starting to be a little bit more sassy. And
but I like that for Faith because you know what? If they're gonna stick together, then that Keeley would be the bigger target.
Yeah, she's making herself a target at this point. Now at Tribal, Caleb and Tez are just busy pointing their fingers at each other. And while that's happening, Keeley and Faith make it clear to Richard and Lyndall that the bigger threat is actually Don. And so Don goes home with 5 votes, leaving Mark blindsided for the first time in the game. Oh, Mark.
So
there's more coming, buddy.
Interesting that they picked Don to send home. Like that does weaken Mark, so they still got what they wanted. Yep. Right.
I honestly feel like getting rid of Don was if their ultimate goal was to weaken Mark, Don was a far better choice than someone like Caleb.
Because Caleb could go anywhere.
Right, because Caleb's not.
He's malleable, right?
Immediately, right? Yeah. We don't know. But Don was one of those guys that wasn't ever gonna betray Mark. One of those.
Right. He would have like waited till the final 3 and then sacrificed himself so Mark could go to the final
Don would
2.
go on Traitors and be mad that people lied to him. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Those kind. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Well, he wouldn't be the first one who's done that.
Nope.
That's true.
Now we go into episode 2, and Mark is recognizing that this is exactly the time he made the mistake of feeling self-assured in his last game. He's making the same mistakes, landing him out of the game. Realizes, I have got to fall back and reconsider my path here. Faith reminds him that Keeley needs to feel control. And I think being reminded of that, even though like you obviously can tell when you're with people who sometimes being reminded just gives you like a platform where you can go, okay, so then that's my goal right now. Like I'm lost and confused. I don't know how that just happened. I didn't see it coming. This is one thing I can be sure of. I'm going to allow Keeley to feel like she has control.
Yeah.
Because first safety measure.
All of these returning players, not only have they been there actually playing it, but they've all had the opportunity to watch themselves play it. Mm-hmm. And what people said about them and how they looked and go, oh God, that was bad. Or,
Yes, get that perspective.
So I think for Mark, something like that probably helped him immensely. So that when someone says something, he's probably hypersensitive where it's like, so read the room,
I have a question for you on that.
Yeah.
Do you think when the players go back and watch the show, and you got to assume they all do, because I would, right? Go back.
I mean, it might take a while.
Right.
Like small
but
might like sting a little.
Do they spend their time going, oh, that was my mistake? Or do they go, oh, this edits, they didn't even capture what was going on?
I think it depends on how they're edited.
You know
and I
what? You
also
know what I'm
think
saying
probably
is
both
because they have so
definitely-
much more information than we as a viewer will ever have.
Well, there's that, but
there's so
when
many times you hear in both US and Australia in post interviews, especially way post. I mean, like years later, where they will say like, this wasn't even a thing. It was edited to be a huge thing. This whole other thing that was happening is really the reason why this happened, including just this last week. And again, at the end of this episode, where last week we're going, why the hell would Brooke play her idol? And then we find out that when they swap tribes, they don't
it was
get
no
to keep
longer
their
be
idol
valid.
anymore.
It had to be used. Yeah, it was
so,
null and void once they swapped. So she had to use it, that one. Which
but we didn't get the rules. We just got a weird.
Is
what
that
the
the
hell
reason
happens?
why-
Yeah, and I think we have to say, Brooke, I know you're not listening, but if you are, we're sorry. We didn't know. We were only going with the information the edit gave us.
Exactly.
We were a little critical.
The whole world probably did that to her, poor girl.
For sure.
I mean, you know, but we did all pick you as our winner pick, so there's that.
We did. So it's like
Which probably means you didn't win because we don't have a great record.
it's like triple
'Cause this
love
is
up
us.
in here for Brooke.
So, yeah, I do believe that the editing plays a big part in
but also
the
when
struggle of like, that's not who I am. That's
But
not
they've
how I
only
wanted to
seen
present
what
myself.
what they see in the game.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
When they're there. So
And there's
when they
things that
watch it, they
happen-
get to see everybody else's confessionals. So like that's the part that they never see on the
Exactly.
beach, right? They'll, so I would think that would help them because
What did this
those
person actually think about
say
me when I
about me?
did this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they really believe me when I told that lie? Was it
Well,
no? Okay.
I mean, speaking of things that we don't see, we got Mark who's sitting here blindsided, which the fact that he's got his hand in every basket and yet he didn't see this one coming, like that's a pretty big deal, because his self-assuredness was that I've got a little something going on with everybody, so I know all the information.
Yeah.
Because as we were just saying, information is the largest portion of being able to navigate this game. So this is happening with Mark. Keeley is forming a new alliance that is going to include Mark, Faith, Lottie, and Sally, called the Head Office. They are going to make a move to cut Caleb, and though Mark doesn't love it, he knows that he has to let the women have some control.
And
he
Dawn's already
compensates.
gone, and Caleb
Dawn's
is kind of like this, so
He's got to make amends, so he compensates with that by attempting to create a trio with himself, Lyndall, and Richard.
Was he really though?
He just wants friends wherever he goes.
Yes.
That's
would
what I
say
think.
Yes. He says yes and to everyone.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like, is that in his top 3 connections? No. But
No.
if that's all he had, he would make it work.
If it's going to allow him to have possibly one more vote in his favor to go in the favor that he wants it to go, then it's a successful job. And I mean, that's kind of diplomatic, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Indeed.
So a question, as I was watching this, we have just 3 returnees left. And it seems like it's so weird how the 3 of them are looked at differently by the other players.
Yep.
Like nobody likes Brooke, right? Nobody wants to work with Brooke. They all want Brooke gone. Like
It's
and all
weird
that he
because
say,
they're just
she's
like,
so dangerous. She's
Yes.
so dangerous. She's so dangerous. Meanwhile, the really truly dangerous one, Mark, they're freaking best friends with. It's so
not a
weird.
great
And they're
read
and
for
they're
them,
kind of
right?
ignoring Simon.
They're kind of ignoring Simon.
I know.
And
They
Simon
are.
is letting himself be ignored. He's not trying to put himself front and center, which
right?
shows some growth in his game, I think.
I think he
Well,
only had
I
one
think there's
blunder
a
this week,
lot-
but we'll talk about that.
There's
I'm
a
sure we'll
lot to
get there.
talk about with Simon. Let's face it, there just is. But let's just kind of move a little bit forward with this episode. We've got the new trio. Now at Bounty, Asha and Blanche are connecting, and they decide that they want Brooke out. So here we are back at the Brooke's gotta go. But she manages to find an idol while Blanche is in the jungle with her babysitting. So
You know why? She didn't react. She didn't go. She just
Nope.
was like, oh, and when she tells her the wrong color to look for,
She just pants that
Yes.
idol too, like in
Yep.
seconds.
Just gone. It's gone. And that,
it was so
my
good.
friends, is how idol hunting should go. None
Brooke's
the
a
wiser.
beast, man.
None
Was that
the
that's didn't
wiser.
she say that was her 6th one? Oh no,
Yes.
never. That was I misunderstood. She came back and said I got 6 of them. They said you find 9. She said I got 6.
Right.
we
Which
think
is
that's
fun,
enough.
which is hilarious.
Yeah, I thought she
Yeah,
was
6
actually throwing
idols,
another
yeah.
stat.
And
Never
it's
mind.
actually her 2nd one this season, which is pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Lyndall had 2, right? She had the one that went bad. Does she?
I only
Isn't she
know
hold,
one.
I thought
I
she was
only know
holding,
one.
I
I
thought she
think
was
she only had
holding
the
one
one.
still. No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. Mm-mm.
Nope, she was without. She had to give it
Just
up.
the one she had to do swapsies with.
Mhm. Now, at the challenge, Mark and Richard have hatched a plan. Okay, I've been waiting all week to hear what you guys thought about this. So everyone is wearing the clothing of the dead, right? When they arrive on the mats, except Mark, who is wearing the clothing of Richard.
Right.
And Richard acts very woeful about it.
Yes.
And this worked way better than it ever should have.
Like it was they were selling it. And then Mark says something and then like tosses him the hat, but just tosses the hat hard enough that it goes past him and lands over to the other mat. And so Simon picks up the hat, feeling so bad for Richard, and brings the hat to Richard and hugs him. And Richard takes that opportunity to say, man, you guys have really got to throw it. You got to throw one. Now, and there's some more that going forward that we can touch on too, but I really like, one thing I do love about this season is like how much like trickery is like not
stealthiness or like
not traditional trickery, like within the boundaries of a normal everyday season.
They're well, because
but even like Brooke and Lyndall trying to exchange the idol, that was awkward
because
as
the thing is, how am I going to do this without being seen? How am I going to do this in broad daylight with everyone watching in full view of everyone? The camera.
So we're gonna do a little theater. A little theater is
great.
how it's going to be
it's
done.
So great.
And it's funny because there's been a lot of
on the US one there was last week.
Yes, there's been a lot of like very similar themes happening on both seasons that are airing at the same time with the redemption arcs and
these are the things that actually change Survivor, when people can think of other little ways to work the system and get information.
Yeah, what's the next trick we can pull off? What's the next
is this looking for an idol without even having a clue? Is that what this is, that no one thought of it until duh? So I love it. It was really great. And then they hugged each other saying that you did a great job. They're trying not to high five each other.
But I will say though that like Lottie and Faith are like, do you think this is real? Are they putting on a show?
But then they more or less bought it.
They decided, okay, maybe it's true.
Do you think that was because they were like, is that one of those, they're not good enough to be able to fool me, but boy, I really don't want to be fooled?
Maybe. Or maybe it's one of those things where they're like, oh, we're not going to be fooled, but the rest of these yahoos can be. I'm not sure. But they weren't entirely buying it anyway. So Richard tells him he's got to throw the challenge. So this challenge is called Ladder Up, Ladder Down, Poke Cube, Spell, Lift Your Game or Lose a Flame. This is how we're covering challenges now. I hope everyone likes
Cube
this.
Game.
I love it.
This,
as long as I don't have to write them.
Is this phrase? Is this a thing we've heard them say before?
No, I've never. I can't
lift
recall
your
it.
game. That must be a.
But that's why it was good, because they all sat
an
there
Australian sighting.
Like, I don't understand.
No, but then they all seemed to get, when they got it, it was like, oh, duh.
No, they didn't all get it. The one team stole it from the other. They overheard the ones say it because they said it.
Did they hear? Well, but I'm just saying, could that be something that is like,
it has to have been something that was said. It has to be some sort of common.
I don't remember it ever being said, but
like
I don't
we
remember
say,
half the
go for it.
So.
Go for it. Are they over there? Lift your
game. It's like tough luck, right?
If
Tough
we
luck.
have any
Tough
Australian
luck.
listeners, we need someone to
Yeah,
write
can
in
you
and
please
let
let
us
us know? Is this
Yeah,
like a
please.
thing? Is this one of those things that we are like sitting here and like dissecting, and you guys are like,
Stupid Americans
it's
don't
just-
even know we say
It's
this
just
all
a
the
thing,
time.
guys. It's just what we say, weirdos. So, okay, Baron definitely does not throw this challenge, and they take the win. Now,
Because
Lindell-
Simon he's unable to ever throw anything.
no,
He-
Simon ain't gonna
he's
throw it. Mm-mm.
he
Not
likes
that
to
boy.
compete.
That's where he's the best, honestly.
He is.
So now Lindell is going to feel good in her new tribe. She tells us, I feel really good. But Keeley wants her out. And the Alliance agrees that Lindell's got to go. And they are going to use Caleb and Tez as the fake out. So now Tez is getting vibes and he's feeling really alone. And Richard and Lindell reach out to him and say, hey, just give us a name. Give us a name. What are you thinking? We'll work with you. Just give us a name. It takes him forever. And he finally awkwardly gives up the name Faith. And they say, okay, that sounds good. And then Tez freaks out and then immediately goes to find Faith to tell her he did what he did.
But why do you think he...
I don't listen.
Okay, he kept saying in his confessionals, I don't want to do what people tell me to do. Okay.
Yeah,
And yet
would
he
think-
constantly did what people
But
tell
I
him
would
to do.
think he's fully aware that Mark and Keeley are friendly with Faith, right? He knows this, right?
I think that he is
So-
afraid that it's going to get back to her.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm
And-
saying, why did he say her name to begin with? Did he know? Was it kind of a, I'll give you a name of somebody I know you guys both like? Faith.
Yeah.
But
His
he
reasoning.
didn't have the swagger to back it up. Was he just being mouthy?
I'll be honest with you that I can.
Do you know what I
There's
mean?
just so many people in this game that
Wimpy
sometimes
mouthy? Oh.
do like a questionable thing, or were you going to raise your eyebrow? But like Tez is very much one of the most confusing people
Yeah.
ever seen in this game, because I literally cannot even contemplate where he's
I
coming
just think
from.
Because
he
he's coming from a place of fear.
Yes.
Everything.
Fear.
That's exactly it.
I
He
mean,
has zero confidence.
I nominate him for the pantheon of Survivor weak players. He's weak mentally. He's weak physically. He's malleable. He does what people tell him to. He is up there with Brandon and Banu for physical
to be
weakness.
fair, he does understand the game. He seemed to understand it. He just
has no
understand-
confidence.
A lot of
So,
people can
right.
understand the game,
Right.
but as soon as somebody tells him to do something, he goes off like a little boy and goes.
Well,
"Does it."
he is very fearful of conflict.
Yes.
And Survivor is nothing but a constant string of conflicts you have to work around.
Confrontations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe not necessarily conflict, but people come out to you and just point blank talking to you and go,
Which leads me to believe that his the fact that we found out he was a lawyer is like, are you just one on paper?
Well, no, he said he just graduated.
That's
Well,
what I
there's
mean,
also
like-
lots of kinds of lawyers. There's kind of lawyers who did just read briefs all day and
That's
write
what I'm
briefs
saying.
and
No,
never
no,
talk to anyone.
He said
he's got to be a paper.
specifically he was going to use some of his skills at pointing out, making arguments to make an argument for himself to
well,
stay.
then may I recommend he finds another profession, because
Well,
he has
day
no
job.
skills at making an
He
argument.
Quit
might
your
feel
day job,
perfectly
buddy.
Fine there. Who knows? I just feel like his fear and lack of confidence was
Yes.
too much. Maybe
It
he
was a
knows
lot.
this. But I wonder, like, is he a typical fan who thinks they could play this game and then gets there and acts like that? Would that be any of us? Would we get there and be I mean, besides David.
I'd be like, I'm freaking sunburned. I'm going home.
I'm blisters on
David
my
be
F
over there like
this.
Dawn, telling him why aren't you guys doing this and why aren't you doing that? Go get some
Yeah.
wood.
No, I think the strategy for first 2 days is say very little.
Yeah, just be
Smile,
Oh, here, let
talk,
me
and
help you.
I would
whoever
say
wants
so
to
much-
align, say yes.
I would say so much and be gone probably by day two.
Yeah, it's
Bye.
well, the lack of confidence, the awkward conversations, the weird
Seemed like a sweet
pauses,
person, but
those things definitely cemented his place on the outs.
Yeah.
The tribal head office just pulls off the plan.
I
to
don't
cut
get
Lindell.
I don't get why he's I guess I don't understand why he's a target. They
Well,
have
he's
the
he's
but
just
my
because
point is,
he's a number.
but they have
I
the
mean,
numbers. Why wouldn't they at least go for Caleb, who maybe could play the game?
well, I think part of the reason is we'll get into that because he's going to have his final day in the sun here in a
Because
minute.
everyone thought, because you're right, everybody thought Tez was a bad player.
Bad
Right.
player.
So,
yeah.
so
like, if
why
someone's a
target the
bad
bad
player-
players? Let
Well,
the bad players linger.
They get Lyndall out of there. Okay, so
Which makes sense.
We got to give Lyndall her moment to say goodbye.
Wait.
Do.
Hold on.
They,
One thing. The
Yes.
reason, David, is because he told all the business at Tribal and used it like his personal. That was it. That was the thing that
That's
pissed
it.
them off, that he had
Yep.
given up too much information. That's why he had to go. Sorry.
Okay.
There you
I
go.
can buy that.
I forgot about that. But okay.
I accept that.
So Lyndall's out with 4. And then moving into episode 3, Lyndall is gone, and now Keely and Faith feel like they're more, maybe they're a little more emboldened. So while at the other tribe, Asha is worrying about Richard. Poor Richard. So she's putting in the work to get the numbers against Brooke. And Jackson and Simon clock her as the actual threat. They decide to pull in Ben, Laz, and Brooke to form Beauty
I
and
was
the Beast.
so excited that she was the actual threat because she's on my final 3 list.
No, she is on your final 3, but I mean, and maybe my mind will change, but first week really liked Asha. Second week liked Asha. Third week, ooh, she's mean. I don't know how
Yeah, I
much
don't like her.
actually like her.
I think
I
Faith
changed
is
my mind.
meaner.
Oh, they're both mean.
She might be meaner, but right now, from what we're seeing, and that could be completely skewed, she seems to be this
All
last
she
episode,
does
she
is
got
say
it all.
She just says
But
mean things about everybody constantly.
What's interesting is we all have a mean girl on our list. I have Asha. You have Christy has Faith, and you have Lottie.
I don't think Lottie's a mean girl. I just
Oh
think
my
that she's a
gosh.
PTA mom. I just think she's a PTA mom. She's gonna rub people the wrong way, but like she's like, okay, Simon like wins something, and Asha's like, oh my god, look at him showboat, and Lottie's like, let him have it.
Mm.
There you
Maybe
go. That's the difference.
maybe Asha's on the wrong show. Maybe she's just supposed to
Maybe.
get on Traders.
She would be good in Traders. Well, maybe. Now, all right. So she's worried about Richard. And now we've got the Beauty and the Beast alliance. So we're going to the challenge, and it's individual immunity. Surprise. So one person from each tribe gets to win immunity. And they first have to draw rocks because of an uneven number in the tribes. 2 are going to have to sit out. And it ends up being Asha and Lottie. Which was kind of funny.
There we go. That makes it
Were
easy.
the rocks just handed to them, or like, that was a little that was not in the odds. But now they are going to try to work with Tez. So this is where you got 2 people you have to hold this weight
But
up with the ball. But they're
it's
like
one
sitting there
person-
kind of like, yeah,
But it's one person from each team. I don't
Each
think
team.
they've ever really done one of these like joint communal double tribal, but also, you know what I mean? It was very
They
weird.
kind of like-
This was a
I-
bait and switch, though.
But I super like
2 people will be going home tonight, but they won't.
but they
I think
won't.
it should have been 2, but sorry.
Well, when you combined them like this, traditionally that's
And I
what
can't
makes sense,
help.
but-
And this is the first time I can't help but think Jonathan would have been the better host for this. For the
On this
big,
challenge?
massive tribal. It's the first time I felt like David really suffered.
Oh, really? I thought he was better. I thought
I
he was
feel like he did better at this
more
tribal than
energy. He was
anything
more
else.
like animated.
I mean, he
even in
literally
tribal.
calls himself the daddy of Survivor.
Yes,
David.
he does. Because everyone was talking about getting spanked for some
It
reason.
was a lot of
I mean, it's
spanking.
like too many days
So
out there.
I mean,
guess.
like he threw in his own jokes. There.
No, I'm saying
Okay, I'm gonna save it for tribal because there's a lot that happens in that
Okay.
tribal. So it's gonna take up the majority of this episode. But we've got we've got the 2 girls are sitting there and they're like, they're trying to get Tez to hang in there. They're being encouraging and trying to get him to hold on. There is a lot of talk between all of the different group members. Like everybody is like transferring information to each other about what's going on and who's doing what, which is going to come back to play in just a minute. They get to the end and it's down to Simon and Faith and Richard. Oh, Richard was struggling so bad. And he's begging Simon, just come on, just let me have this. Just let me have it.
He really tried. He should feel proud of himself.
He was hanging in there as much as he could.
Yeah, and that's where they believed that Richard was not faking.
Yep.
Because they're like, oh, he wanted it so bad.
Faith is just like, do not drop it. Don't let him have it. So, and he hung in there, and they get the immunity. So at camp, Jackson wants to spill the tea about everything he heard in his conversation about the other side. And Simon, who has been playing an excellent game up to this point.
Truly he has. Up until this point.
This is the moment. This moment is the time to start making Simon-sized mistakes. And he tells Jackson to brief him in private first. In front of everybody. Yeah. Oy.
I mean, wouldn't it be better when they were like, oh, you guys are going to be... I mean, Simon could be like, to be fair, I have to pee or something, you know, like play it off and then go, never mind, you don't have to go. I'm just, and then you have to play it off. Because you could accidentally say something like that in your excitement, but dude,
you immediately have to backpedal when that happens. It was bad. So when he's confronted afterwards, he's confronted as to why he did that, as any Alliance member probably would. He stumbles with that explanation and makes it's so terrible. And then he makes some statements that throws Mark under the bus. And
so then does that mean he did not realize it looked weird that they left and wasn't prepared to what I was going to say when he came back?
I don't know. Simon. This is some Simon blunders. I could literally hear King George going, "Oh, Simon."
That is literally, you know? That is literally the curse of that necklace. It sits on your shoulders and you feel like, oh, I'm invincible right now. I'm finally safe.
Fear, a little bit of fear in this game, which Tez should have I wish he would have learned to harness that.
He felt too safe.
Somewhere on a couch was George with Douglas saying exactly that.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, Simon.
It's so bad.
Same old Simon.
Doing as Simon does. So that was not the greatest moment for him. Now Mark and Faith decide that if both tribes are going to vote at tribal, because they don't know yet, if both tribes are going to vote at tribal, then they should probably pull all their numbers together, and this might be the time to go after Asha, because like I said, she is seen as a big threat with this alliance. But if it's a single tribe, then it's got to be Tez who goes. Okay. All right.
So what did you think of that?
So, I mean,
that
again,
logic.
I think it's great logic.
What logic?
If everybody was voting together to get rid of who is one of the biggest threats in the game right now, sure.
The idea that you would take a shot at Asha and miss is probably not great.
Maybe not the best. But if you have the numbers, if you feel like
But Jackson was just like, who cares? I don't care. Let's vote for Asha.
Yeah, let's get her out of here, because she's making me nervous.
I don't care if we miss. I want to share.
Well, and I think part of that is because where a lot of us have feelers of where they stand, and where if you were in there, you're going to say, how do I know where I stand in the game? You have to watch people. Yes, there's all these little clues, there's little things that people do, but then there's also big tells. Like if someone doesn't like you and you can tell they don't like you, then the logic is they are going to try to vote you out. And I think that's exactly where Jackson is sitting. I think he sees that Asha does not like him, and therefore it's a direct path of danger. And she's got to go.
I think people are still underestimating him, even after he played Harry. They still kind of think he's the dumb guy or something. I don't know.
I see that too. Well, that's been a problem in the past, and it's come and bit them in the ass. So not only did I just hand you a rhyme.
That too, yeah.
You've been like throwing down the rhymes all night. You should be on US Survivor rapping.
Oh yeah.
She should. Honestly, You're a better rapper than some.
And let's give it up for Australia for no rapping. No rapping on Survivor.
No
Probably
rapping
next
this season.
Well, fair.
I mean,
Thank God for.
they're kind of a little
Miracle
behind.
now,
They
though.
sometimes try to adopt the stupidest thing parts.
Every once in a while.
Yes, whatever.
So now at Tribal, I love this. Brooke exclaims that she doesn't understand what's the hurry Murray about getting out these return players. David refers to himself as a Survivor daddy. Jackson has a weird beef with Caleb, and there's a fire making challenge. And you got to pick your hero.
And Caleb refuses to use Jackson's name. He simply refers to him as that bloke.
That
like
bloke.
30 times.
Okay, I actually, it was a weird argument, but I kind of loved that argument.
It was fun.
Yeah, I
because
I like seeing Jackson like stand up for like Harry in a way,
Yeah, like they really liked Harry. But I also get what he's saying. It's like, dude, these people were just here. You don't have to like.
Well, there's no reason. There's no reason to dance on their grave, right?
Yeah, you're not going to come in here and roast him now because he's not here. If you one thing, if he's on the jury.
And then Caleb's like, they're not actually dead. And I'm like laughing because I know the whole time in like Caleb's head, he's like, oh my God, this wasn't even my stupid idea. This is some crap Mark made me do. And like, I'm getting all the heat for it. It's just it's so silly. Like the whole thing is so silly. But I do enjoy the fact that Jackson is like, standing up for, being the good guy, if there's such a thing in Survivor. It was cute. Now, fire. Pick your hero. They pick Simon, but they're pushing him to throw it. Guys, stop making Simon
doesn't throw it.
And then then on Mark's tribe, they're trying to push Mark to throw it. So we've got 2 fire makers that are being pushed to throw it. Meanwhile, they both managed to build the most impressive fires in
that would
Fire
not burn
Challenge history.
And literally, Simon wins because he takes that piece of tar and Mark's trying to use his coat. It's like,
what was happening?
Literally, though, the Aussies always think of these things like they're rocking the fire and they're grabbing that thing. And why? Come on.
I don't think they're allowed to do that in US. That's why there's always one person that gets totally screwed by the wind.
Jeff, don't let them do whatever they need to do to get that fire going.
Oh, I
need to grab Rizzo and place his little body in front of the flame.
I just think US Survivor players don't bother to learn how to make fire.
In US Survivor, I don't even think they're allowed to stand up while they're doing it.
No, I think they have a lot of rules on that fire making challenge.
But I like this was really great.
Maybe there needs to be less rules. It's not an end game decision fire.
Like Mark gets this nice flame going and immediately takes the husk and pushes it on there so hard he puts it out. It's like, just put a little on there, dude, and then a little more.
No, I just love it so much that these 2 players are so devoted to playing that their teams are like, oh, throw it, mate, throw it. And they're like, yeah, no.
No. What, I'm going to throw it and let Simon think he got the better of me?
And were
these
vice versa? Were these not like the GOAT of all time as far as ropes? Those ropes were not burning for nothing.
No, they weren't.
I mean, the flames were on it forever.
Do you think they coated those ropes with something a little bit?
I don't know. Mark sat there the whole time they were talking afterwards, and the flag never went up.
Crazy. And at this point, David was getting so excited while he was like
and I think that like it almost looked like at the beginning it looked like Simon was gonna throw it because he was scrape, and by the time he finally gets any sort of ember going, Mark's flame's already halfway up the length of the rope.
But then Mark kept putting his own flame out,
and at some point someone's like, oh, somebody's got to do it.
They probably have a pill for that.
It was the most bizarre. It was slightly unhinged. Everybody's cross-referencing with each other, like, oh, we told Simon to throw it, but he didn't. So now we're telling on each other to the other tribe. It's a whole.
But both of them can go back and be like, dude, I did try to throw it. Did you see what happened? Like that, no
Did
one
you
can predict
literally
that.
see it? So, and then the chaos isn't done yet, because before the fire started, Simon asked, "Am I allowed to give my idol to somebody?" And they say, "Yes, that is
Yes.
approved." And so he gets the fire, he wins the fire making challenge, and they're going to leave because, newsflash, only one tribe gets to vote. And Simon comes back and says, "Well, I think I want to give my idol to Richard." I thought this was so interesting because I figured that once you confirm if you're going or
you
staying,
can't do
you
it.
don't
You
get
had
to
your
do it.
shot.
Correct.
Right?
Like it
Mhm.
would have been like before they did the challenge and were the heroes, before they did the fire thing, because at that point
Yep.
they don't know which side.
Do you think
Can
at that
I
point?
give my?
Do you think at that point they cut and they went into like the rules? People
Wait a
talked
minute.
about it, and then they went,
Looked it
"Yeah,
up?
fine. This
Well,
is good TV."
Maybe.
this is good TV. But the fact that he didn't do it right then, it's like playing your idol after they've read the
Right.
votes. Right? Like, no.
Yes. And then to make it even more chaotic, you've got Faith sitting there saying, like, you don't need to do that. Keep your idol. Keep it. Don't give it up. But it means nothing right
It
now.
means nothing to him. So why is Faith saying that? That's what I couldn't
Why?
understand. Unless
I
she
don't
wanted
get
to vote him out. That's the only reason.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did.
The
They
whole
did want to
thing-
vote him out.
The whole thing
I
is
understand,
so
but my point
sussy
is-
baka.
But my point is, at that point, how does she not see he benefits
But
nothing
they're
from walking
literally
away with
saying
it?
that's exactly what they had said to him the first time he asked if he could play it.
Mhm.
And they're like, you don't have
Oh,
to
you
do
don't
it.
need
You
to.
don't
Well,
have to
then
do
it,
it.
then
You
it
don't
at
have to do
least made
it
sense.
made sense. Keep it
because-
for yourself.
right.
Keep it for yourself. But
But why keep
maybe-
it for yourself if you've already won the fire making challenge?
So, but why would she even make that argument? That's the part I didn't get.
Yep.
I would have been like, can he
That
do
was very
that? And if
sus.
so, can I
Very
have
sus.
Right. Yeah, and the whole thing is happening, and you can see Tez just slowly dying inside because he recognizes that, oh man, if Richard is safe, then I'm probably the only
It's
other
him.
option. Yeah. So you know what he does? He try at this most unhinged tribal, Tez, for the first time in his entire game, makes a firm stand for something and decides that he wants to go for Caleb. But guess what, folks? It's too little too late. And he goes home on a 4-vote majority. And speaking of 4, we're going to take 4 seconds of a pause for a commercial break, and then we'll be back with the end of this whatever this is. All right, we're back. Now, yeah, I don't know. I loved the tribal. I'm not gonna lie, they could all be like that, and I would just love it. It was nuts.
Well,
So
it was
many
good- It
layers.
was good TV for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking more about the whole they wanted to get Richard out, and they want to get Richard out because Richard is that conduit between Simon and Mark.
Well, he's still with the other team. He's with the other guys, you know. He's still with them.
But right,
It's,
like he
it's
worked
very
with
clear.
Simon.
It's
He was
very
Simon's
clear
guy.
at that point with the girls walking over and talking to him
Mhm.
that he's still with them. So if
Right,
Simon doesn't protect him, he goes home for sure.
right. Oh yeah, and makes sense that he would, right?
Well, yeah, because well, up until the girls did that, Mark could argue he's on our side. Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's interesting to me that with Simon, he plays like he's been playing so well, and then he has this little like weird slip. I'm really worried. I hope that next week we see him kind of like getting back with like a layer of safety in front of him again. But I feel like there's so many things this week that has slid him to the front where he hasn't been.
Yeah.
The comment to Jackson, the not throwing the challenge, the giving him the idol.
But the rest of his tribe can't be mad that he saved Richard.
I mean, can they use that as a way to say he's not with us?
But wait, he on his tribe when they swapped,
Mhm.
he still is in the majority.
Yes.
Okay,
But
so he
somebody
gives-
like Asha who's looking for any reason.
sure, but it would be like if anyone got upset, well, we weren't going to need it. I gave it to him because he's one of our OGs, and when at merge we might need him. It's better
Who's
for us
left?
to keep our numbers.
Who is over on that side? Who are the odd man out on that side that came from the on the opposite side? There's been too many damn tribe swaps in the past 24 hours for my brain to separate all the people.
It is Sally, right?
Sally. Yep. She's with Mark. Sally's over with Mark. So that's what I mean. Like, what's the numbers? I mean, it's not huge numbers, but
I felt like this week with the swap, people started actually having to play a little deeper.
It was Lindo, Richard, and Brooke, right? So Brooke's the one out on the other side.
Oh yeah.
Lindo and Richard and Brooke switched. Everyone else remained the same.
Yeah.
And Lindell's gone.
Right.
Yep. Lindell's out.
So yeah. But this week people had to start digging deep a little bit and doing things when they got switched up.
And they did, but unfortunately, one of the especially usually the first episode that comes in after a mishmash is like, who's the odd man out? Like, who has the lowest numbers? Let's just pick from them. There's no real like strategy other than we have to keep the numbers. Which is why it's always interesting when you find someone who can find the crack, they can find the cracks and work the bigger group apart.
Yeah, the people who are excited to go, okay, there's a couple new people here. Can I use them? What, who can I vibe with? And just total luck of the draw.
That's why I'm so confused not confused. That's why I argue against the Richard thing, because I just don't feel like Richard's done that within his tribe. They got rid of Lyndall. Now it's just Richard. He's just on his own, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mark could use him as a number, but I really feel like the perspective is that he won't leave Mark. It has to be the perspective that he is with Mark. He's cemented with him.
Because he let Mark wear his jacket? Are they going steady? I don't.
Because otherwise the girls could use him as a number rather than targeting him. But especially when they've mentioned Caleb so many times.
Well, there you go, right there. They're afraid that Mark has another person, so they got to get rid of him so that Mark, they can keep Mark to them. They're jealous girlfriends, really. Even though didn't they say Mark was the jealous girlfriend?
Yeah. Yeah, guys. Here's the mirror. Here, hand over the mirror. So, okay, we do not have any feedback this week, but if you have something you would like to add to this conversation or send feedback in, you can do so at any time of the day at the feedback at yahoo.com, and then we'll read it on here. Now, do you guys have any predictions for next week?
Well, I feel like enough things have happened now that are we getting to merge? How close are we to merge now? It was 17.
Like probably...
No, you're still at 15.
I feel like,
Are we 15? Okay.
I think we have to play a couple more.
We got a couple more.
Maybe the third episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, end of next week or the very beginning of the following week, right? One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think this week it started getting interesting because it's almost like the game got shook up. The cream had to rise to the top. They kind of had to like skim off some of the floaters that were no longer good. And so like it was kind of like, let's cut the weakest. It's been a week of making
cheese and Australian Survivor.
But I like that because let's get rid of it. If Tez was that timid or that unsure or that whatever inequity that he had for playing this game, he needed to go because he wasn't going to be good for anybody's game.
Yeah. I will give Tez this credit. The credit that I give to Tez is that he has a remarkable personality and voice for a character in a sitcom. I would watch a show with Tez.
I mean, if we're going to
seems like a super sweet human being.
Yeah, I mean, like he's a character, right? He has a very clear personality voice, just not a gamer. He's not.
You know what he said? What's interesting about him? He said that he was one of 6 children. He was the youngest.
Yep.
And he was always overlooked, and no one ever paid attention to him. He learned to be quiet like that, and I feel like that's what he did here on Survivor too. So I hope that
like
wherever
when somebody
Tez is in the world.
When it comes to the time when you do have to say something,
Yeah.
You got to say it with confidence.
I hope that Tez can find his inner lion and,
Tez has no
work
inner
on
lion.
that.
His inner lion has been eaten by a sheep.
No, I think people can work on that, That's
I love your
therapy.
enthusiasm, but
he
in
needs
this
to
case,
gain
I
a
feel
little
like he's
courage.
misplaced.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
a little
No.
courage and standing up,
Especially
for
before he
his,
gets in the courtroom.
Now, Jamie, you asked for
Yes.
predictions, and my prediction for next
Yeah.
week is
Mhm.
pain. Channeling my Clubber Lang, my prediction is pain.
All right.
And here's what's going to happen. They're all
Okay.
going to go for Brooke. She's going to play her idol.
Oh.
And somebody unexpectedly is going to go home.
Honestly,
That's my prediction on the next episode.
I was trying to watch for signs that they were telegraphing too hard to Brooke that she's their target. But
Yeah.
it seems to me that Brooke is fully aware.
Well, and the other thing
No?
that we oh yeah, absolutely. No,
You
no.
think so? Okay.
Oh,
good.
she knows.
I think it's going to
she's
come
gone.
down. I think it's going to come down between Brooke and Asha.
But literally no one knows she has an idol.
No.
For now.
Oh God, if Brooke, please don't tell
No.
anyone.
I just want to see
her.
her. I just want to see them make their votes and then Brooke just pull it out and watch one of them just go, oh.
Yep.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
The thing is,
and have it be Asha.
Like Frank from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. She's going home.
Oh.
Going home. I think that I knew that I liked all of the returnees that we were going to have this year. I was really happy with who we had. But I kind of figured, there'd be one or two newbie players that I'd really, really latch on to, and I'd root for them more at the end than the returnees. But I gotta say, guys,
so far, no.
I just want these returnees to just keep going.
So far,
maybe one or two people that I'd like to stay with them for as long as possible. But overall, I'm rooting for the returnees.
But I think isn't that typical for this point of the game? Wouldn't that be typical? We're not really.
I don't feel like any of the new players have really distinguished themselves.
Yeah, I'm not getting the dynamic grab from any.
I really like Jackson.
I do like Jackson.
Okay, I'll give you that. I like Jackson.
Right? Don't I have him in my final three, or don't I have him in my top three?
Well, let's see. You have Brooke, and then you have Caleb crossed out, so you pick Faith. Then you have Jackson crossed out, and you pick Simon.
Damn it! But you see, I was picking.
It was there. It
No,
was there.
I
Follow
further
those
want to
instincts.
predict frustration on the part of Jamie Joe when I say that Channel 10 is screwing with us, and we're going to have a Sunday episode this week.
But is it still three?
Don't know why. Yes, still three.
So is it going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday?
Well, at this point we don't know.
It's Sunday for sure. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not saying for sure. I'm just saying that's what they're saying.
I'm not. Yes. Be prepared for a Sunday possibility because we've seen it some places.
No. Apparently, whatever's been going on, whatever soccer tournament or whatever's going on, is not happening
there's an event
this
there
Sunday. Right.
Correct.
Okay.
And so everyone's speculating it'll be on this Sunday.
For anybody in the U.S. that is questioning this logic, if you are a fan of Big Brother, it is like the 60-minute nights of Big Brother when 60 minutes runs long, so they have to move Big Brother
because of football.
Correct.
Yeah, because of football.
Yeah.
Okay, so my prediction is not for the next episode necessarily, but I have a prediction that's going to stretch out into future seasons. I feel as if at this point, I mean, things could change, but at this point, I feel as if anybody on this tribe was to ever be a return player themselves, I think it might be Miss Keeley. Keeley gets a lot of confessions, and she has some like boss girl AU survivor energy.
Totally does.
Yeah, she fits the mold. I think Keeley will be back.
You know what? When you have a meeting, she is taking the notes. Precisely.
Yeah, she is. And it's really weird because she is a dead ringer for this girl I went to high school with, who I liked.
Oh, really?
We had a good relationship. But she had I will say.
I think she looks a little like Lottie too. Like I've wondered if they're secretly sisters.
Yeah,
they
kind of
look similar.
They would tell us that by now, though. No.
Yeah,
I could. It's Australia.
Now, who knows? Now, I will say though, I I can't say that there's nobody else on this tribe that could be a return player. We just may not have seen it yet, but yeah, Miss Kaylee's got some good survivor energy, I think, for a little bit of a villain,
Yeah,
but
100%.
she's doing good. So, okay, those are predictions for next week. Now, if you enjoyed any of this coverage, please hit like and subscribe. You can also listen to us anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts at the Jay and Jack Whole Enchilada feed. And we would like to thank the Patreons who contribute at a certain level. They are Eckhart Rickner, Joanne with the Plan, and Ed the Poopy Head Mailman. If you'd like to become a Patreon yourself and get all the extras from Survivor with JJC, the Ramblecast, the broadcast, tally the votes, and more, then go to patreon.com/JNJack. You can also find us on the socials, where we would love for you to come hang out with us, contribute your thoughts, some memes, sarcastic quips, just general mayhem. And then we're going to be here again next week, likely the same time and place, to cover all things Australia. And if you are watching US Survivor, feel free to join myself, Colleen, and Jack after each new episode over at Jay and Jack. Well, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need to throw in before we sign out?
Other than US Survivor is oddly compelling this year.
It really is.
It's good. We needed these returning players. I did want to say that we're all we've hinted around for those who tune in this summer. We will be doing a more scripted show, and it is going to be for the new season of Interview with the Vampire. This is going to be the Vampire Lestat, and I'm going to tell you right now. February 13th, first song dropped, so you guys should check that out. It's called Long Face. And tomorrow, Friday the 13th of March, is the next drop. We're gonna get All Fall Down. And so those two songs you can see, and they're speculating probably another trailer of some sort tomorrow as well. But we're still looking toward a June drop for that season premiere. But we can start liking the music now. And guys, it's pretty fun.
It's going to be great when we all know the words to the songs when they air and we sing along.
Like we'll be the real fans at the concert.
Yeah, we know all of the words. We know all of them.
Yeah.
All right,
anyway.
guys. Well, we will be looking forward to that. And then we look forward to next week to see where these crazy kids are going to bring us on this island. So until next week, let us hurry Murray our way on out of here. And you have a great night.
Hey, mates. Good day, mate.